go ahead.
Mike, in games since you last faced Kansas State, have they run a similar offense to where they run the clock down to about 10 seconds and start running their offense, or have they deviated from that a little bit?
Yeah, they pretty much went to their regular offense a little bit, but there's times during the game that they'll go back to that. I've noticed. So they're playing a lot of games right now. I think they have another game tonight, and then we play them Wednesday. So I don't know. They could slow it down. They could play man-to-man. They could play zone. They could play triangle too. I mean, they're doing a little bit of everything. So we have to be ready for everything for them.
Kevin Kinder first.
When you discuss with your team, like seeding for the tournament and the NCAA, the potential of that, kind of keep them apprised of what's at stake, or do they do it themselves? Interesting that the way the women's team or men's team did it, is wondering how you all did it.
Well, I mean, they're aware. They're aware. I tell them right now, everybody at the end of the year is trying to play for seeding, whether it be Big 12 tournament, whether it be NCAA or whatever. So everybody's playing a little bit harder right now. And then some teams that are playing for pride down at the end of the year. So, teams are playing a little bit harder right now, trying to get ready for tournament play. And our players need to realize that. And then, let's face it, we lose one game on the road, win a game on the road, and we drop in the AP. I mean, we just don't, it's just amazing to me how that happens. But, we just got to stay focused. We have 2 more regular season games. I don't know if any other teams in the country is playing 4 of their last games on the road like we have to. I just don't think it's a good situation right now, but, we have to do it. We have to play. We have limited players right now. We have injuries and that type of stuff. So, it is what it is, and we just got to go play.
Joe, go ahead.
Like the last couple of years, you've kind of needed late season pushes to get into the NCAA tournament. Obviously, you're good regardless this year, but how advantageous is the position that you're in now, where you're looking to maybe climb the ladder as opposed to just get in?
Yeah, it's a different situation this year. I'll be honest with you. We could go 1-1 the next 2 games, or 0-2. We're going to finish second or third. I mean, in the Big 12, and then seeding wise, the NCAA, it'll affect that some. But so we need to win. We need to win again, and it's a big game on Wednesday. But with that being said, I don't want to. I don't want to put. I'm not just going to practice them for 2 hours and work them hard and all that, because we have no legs right now, and we have some illness and we have some injuries and that type of stuff. So if you want to look big picture, we're looking big picture really to the Big 12 tournament in the NCAA right now.
Kevin, go ahead.
So with that lead in, will Madison make the trip? Anybody else specifically ruled out right now, or are you still in wait?
No, just injuries, some ankles, some knees, some back, some hips, some, illness, sickness, that type of stuff, which is normal this time of the year. It really is. This is not unique, but you just got to play through that. Now, as far as Madison, it just depends on treatment. If she can get better treatment back here, we didn't take her last week when we were on the road for a week because she could get better treatment back here on her injury. So we'll evaluate her now. She definitely won't be playing the Big 12 tournament. She definitely won't be playing in that. So we'll have to evaluate her after the Big 12 tournament.
We'll go to Ryan Pritt next. Go ahead.
Hey, Mike, you mentioned those weary legs and things like that. I know you're shorthanded. You've been shorthanded. How do you coach around that? I mean, in the middle of a stretch of games where you're 4 on the road, like you said, and it's all happening on top of each other. I mean,
Yeah.
Is there a way to still make sure they're prepared and rested at the same time at this point?
Well, yeah, I mean, mentally they can be prepared in that, but physically, you have to practice. You have to go through it. You have to put them in those situations up and down the floor. And right now, I don't know if I'm willing to put them in those situations up and down the floor because we definitely can't afford anybody else to get hurt. We can't afford, I just can't run them up and down the floor and expect them to have energy in a game. So, but we'll have time. We'll have time to do that. We'll have time after the Big 12 tournament. We'll have time going into the NCAA. That's where we need to be fresh and be ready to go.
Joe, go ahead.
Like in games decided by 6 or less this year, you're 5-2. You lost 5 games by 6 or less last year. Sometimes it's like what you had Saturday with Kaiser making a big shot to make the difference. Sometimes it's a late defensive stop. But why do you think the team is generally better in late game situations, close games this year than last year?
Well, I think we execute a little bit better in a late game situation this year than what we did last year on both ends. I think, our mentality is different than it was last year. This year, we expect to win those games. Last year, I think some of them expected to lose those games. And just like you said, Kaiser hits that 3. Give her a lot of credit. She had a lot of nerve. We were trying to get downhill, and the girl backed way off of her, and she had the confidence to go ahead and pull up and hit that 3. And now you're up 5. Now all you have to do is hit foul shots down the stretch, and we've been able to do that pretty consistent this year.
Joe, keep going.
And Mike, Saturday you get 24 rebounds from Esmery, and it seems almost matter of fact. Like it's not like anybody's really surprised that she's able to do that. How is she able to rebound so effectively? She at 6'2", she's not necessarily the tallest person. She's not like a Mac or a Collier, but she still is able to get those impressive totals.
Yeah, because she anticipates rebounds. She anticipates missed shots. She anticipates that type of stuff. And your great rebounders do that. They anticipate a shot and get to the other side. They don't just stand there. They get to the other side. And then I thought the other night against Kansas, I think 3 or 4 of them rebounds were, she got her own rebound from a missed shot, which she follows her shot and rebounds well on one of her shots. So, yeah, she's just a great rebounder. She's only going to get better. Her other areas, she's a great rebounder, but she can score also, and she's only going to get better. She has a bright future.
Ryan, go ahead.
Mike, one more for me. You might not care about this, but you did bring it up a minute ago, so I want to ask, do you feel like you guys have been underrated, overlooked in the polls? I mean, you look at it, among Power 5 teams with 4 losses or less, you're 9 behind anyone else. It's kind of a unique thing, isn't it?
Yeah. I don't know. I've said this in the beginning, when you're not mentioned preseason, it's hard to get in there because, especially on the women's side, for some reason, I don't know why, but it is. And then, once you get in there, as soon as you lose a game, they drop you. On the men's side, a lot of times, sometimes you'll go up if you lose a game. And it's just amazing to me how you drop like that. But those polls don't win games. And you got to go out and win games, and that is not our focus, the poll. It's just frustrating once in a while to me. And I shouldn't even brought it up, but I get frustrated when I get tired of it. And, we just got to take care of business and win games, and then all that takes care of itself.
Kevin Kinder.
Like you mentioned, having to take the long view in these last regular season games in the Big 12 tournament. How difficult is that for you, given your competitive nature, to not practice as hard as you can, throw every player out there, and I'm sure for your ladies too?
Yeah, it is. It is hard. I really, for today, for example, I did 2 practice plans. One, if I felt like let's push them, and one that I felt like let's not push them. And after talking to some of them, I took the one where we're not going to push them. I just, you can just push them, but the final thing is you want them to have legs for the game on Wednesday. And now we may not execute as well. We may not do the things as well, but we still have to have energy and legs. So, as a coach, you got to make that decision. You really do. And, right now we're just banged up and everybody is. I guarantee Kansas State's banged up. Everybody's banged up at this time of the year. So it's not an excuse. You just got to be smart enough to, as a coach, hey, we got to back off a little bit right now.
Anything else for Coach today? All right, Coach. Thank you for your time.
All
We
right, thank
appreciate
you.
it. Thank you, everybody.